Well, it initially started from a question that I had, which was, who are your favorite female superheroes? And when I looked back through the legacy of female superheroes, there weren't really a lot. There definitely weren't a lot, or hardly any, that were of color. So one day, my sister had shared a photo of her daughters, which are my nieces, sleeping in bed together, and they were all holding hands. And from there, it kind of like, I had this idea of like, oh, I think they're kind of like, getting their powers when they sleep.
And in our series, the ElleRays, the theme of sisterhood actually showcases how siblings can inspire and motivate each other to emphasize teamwork, love, and the power of family bonds. And this shows children that reading can be a joyful and shared adventure within your family and the community around you.
What superheroes does Generation Alpha have? So all those things collectively, we're like, hey, we've got to do this. Like, this is something that's important, this is necessary, and the new generation needs something.
And like many parents, I see what our children are up against. With Generation Alpha being the largest generation in history and the most diverse in U.S. history, but numbering over 2 billion people worldwide.
I came across a lot of articles that were talking about Generation Alpha and their challenges and struggles with getting them to read. At the same time, I remember reading a lot of research and articles from economists and a professor named Roland Fryer, who talked about what it takes to get kids to be excited about reading. And one of the things he talked about was incentivizing it. And so as a kid, I competed in the dramatic reading competition in Baltimore. And it was one of those things that we were proud of, because it gave you a chance to kind of get acknowledged for something outside of athletics. When I looked around, I noticed that, well, the dramatic reading competition doesn't exist anymore. And I'm like, is there some correlation between this and the what society is describing as the decline in kids' interest in reading? So I met with my sister and I said, hey, I want to bring this dramatic reading competition back to the forefront. And I want to get kids excited about reading. I was like, we can use our book series to do this. I'm like, it has a performance flow to it, which would be perfect for a dramatic reading competition. For us to launch this competition, Raise Up, Read Up, in Baltimore, a city that once branded itself as the city that reads, was no accident. It was intentional. We wanted to let kids know, especially Generation Alpha, that literacy is not just a skill, it's a superpower. The ElleRays is 3 sisters, and so they have 3 different superpowers: strength, wisdom, and beauty. And when those 3 elements are combined, I guess it ultimately creates something that becomes supernova. We wanted to do something that specifically focused for Generation Alpha and beyond. And we wanted Generation Alpha to have their own new set of superheroes. Like, we had no issues with the superheroes from the past. Everybody loves Marvel, everybody loves DC. But we felt like Generation Alpha and beyond was going to be they're a special generation. They need a special set of characters specifically for them, that deals with and acknowledges and speaks to their issues. We just completed our first competition at Francis Scott Key Elementary Middle School in Baltimore City. And so for 2025-2026, we're looking to do it as a citywide competition. We're going to bring more schools in. That'll be from Baltimore City and Baltimore County. From there, we plan to take it to a statewide level, where we go outside of Baltimore and we hit the various counties throughout Maryland, ultimately to a nationwide competition.
Looking ahead, we hope to expand the ElleRays series further with the additional trilogies that are in the works.
We're hoping to get enough sponsors and donations and interest involved where we can eventually turn this into a scholarship program as well. We want to do this competition. We want to bring this back to Baltimore. We knew what it did for us. I knew what it did for me. It prepared me for, college entrance exams, it prepared me for job interviews, it prepared me for all walks of life. So it's important for those skill sets to be given to the next generation.
And those trilogies will continue to inspire and empower children to know the true power that they have within themselves. And our ultimate vision is to also develop an animated series that can become a beloved household name, and that's reaching kids everywhere with engaging stories and positive messages.
That's also what this competition is about, raising the bar, raising our voices, raising up kids to think, to feel, to know, to not be afraid to imagine. Because when you raise up readers, you raise up leaders.